Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We're here in Gridania, ready to continue with the tank quests. And before we get started, I'll put a timestamp if you want to skip past this stuff, but I just want to give some thoughts about where I want to go with this channel. Some changes I want to make, and I don't know, just a request for feedback about any of this stuff. Positive, negative, any of that. So, first off, I am thinking of making this. When I started this series, this was not the Endwalker series. Playing Final Fantasy Unspoiled, starting with mostly Unspoiled. I'd played 4 before, but when I started this whole thing, it was back in 2015 or so, and it was all through a blog, and it was a lot of fun. And then I switched relatively recently to doing video stuff. And that's really fun too. And it hits me that a lot of the reason I have the style that I do, in terms of at least how I do videos, in terms of like that they're like 30 or 40 minutes, or sometimes a bit longer, but they're not really long. That they're just kind of short play sessions. A lot of that comes from how I grew up on YouTube. From a lot of the videos for a long time that I watched on YouTube, the Let's Plays and stuff, were like, they were 10 minutes. They were 10, 15 minutes. And then 30 minutes once the 10-minute cap was lifted. Because at a certain point, I don't remember when that was, but at a certain point, you could only do 10-minute max videos. And so that dictated how people put up their videos. And then at a certain point after that was lifted, people would push to 30 minutes, and some of the people I'd watch would push to 30 minutes, but even that kind of felt like indulgent. And I think that that's kind of the style I've still kept, and I don't know that I need to keep it. I don't want to be locked into an old style of doing videos. I want to grow and learn and change and just present these better. And so something I was thinking was a few things. Here's what I'm thinking. One is that I would be adding a face cam to all these videos. I would change. Right now I record on the PS4, but I've gotten some practice recording on a computer on a Premiere. I'm working with Premiere Pro, and OBS, and so I would do that. Second change is I would make this channel really I would change it into being right now it's very much a variety channel. I would change it into being just a Final Fantasy channel. I would migrate my other uploads to a different channel, to a second channel. I know I don't have many people on this even to begin with, so the idea of a second channel feels indulgent to me too, or feels hubristic or something, but mostly because I'd rather it be a bit more focused. I feel like some people are here just because they want to see all my videos, and that's great, but I think a lot of people would just be interested in Final Fantasy stuff, and I think there might be more people. I might be able to build a little bit of an audience that way. So it would be not just 14, but it would be like Final Fantasy 14, and then like the next Final Fantasy game, whether that's Brave Exvius or Crystal Chronicles, or I'm probably leaning towards Stranger of Paradise actually as the next Unspoiled Final Fantasy game. But this would become just kind of a Final Fantasy games LP channel. And again, the other stuff, what I'm doing, Subnautica, Dragon Age when that comes out, Mass Effect, all that stuff would still be going on. It would just be kind of in a different variety channel. And the third thing is I would think about, because I wouldn't be restricted to just doing less than 1 hour videos, which is all PS4 recording allows, is I would do longer videos. Less frequent, but longer. So I might do, like, instead of, 3... If I'm doing the next role quest, the physical DPS role quest where I'll be using Reaper, I would do that then as not as a 3 separate 30-minute uploads with 2 quests a piece. It would have the option to be, it wouldn't have the option, it would be kind of one longer chunk, and I'd have a bit more control over how I divvy up content that I'd put out. So if there was a video that did a large piece of Elpis, or all the side quests in a particular area that came up, I wouldn't have to cut it into like 3 different sections. I could organize it a little bit more thematically rather than just by whatever I can do in 40 minutes. So that's my thought. Let me know if you have reactions to that, positive, negative, neutral. Yeah, so we'll try that. The first time I will try that is... I don't know how I'm going to shift the other stuff to a different channel. I have no idea. I probably will just have to go, but that's where I'd like to go with things. Anyway. Keeper of the Entwined Serpents. A gift undone. The tired eyes and slumped shoulders of the Keeper of the Entwined Serpents bespeaks weariness. The situation has worsened since last we spoke. Gleipnir grows bolder in his attacks, and the conjurers are spread thin in their efforts to attend the victims. Moreover, we are no closer to finding a means to counteract the blasphemy's poison. With no choice but to wait until death claims them, some are overwhelmed by hopelessness, becoming mad beasts that lash out at their former countrymen. Such tragedies are all too easily beget further tragedy, as bereaved loved ones are, in turn, overcome and share the same horrid fate. The people speak of these incidents in hushed whispers, afraid that at any moment a monster might appear within their midst, and they are not wrong. And thank you to Rack for confirming that, well, not confirming, I didn't know one way or the other, but for telling that this guy is apparently, like, he's been a presence in the game, but it's not like he's had a speaking role until now. So he's almost like a new character as a primary character. We must slay Gleipnir without further delay. If we could find a cure for the blasphemy's poison. Yeah, I think we just have to kill him as soon as possible. Indeed, let us hope that the Elder Seedseer's efforts to enlist the aid of the elementals are successful, and that united we may at last cleanse the Twelveswood of this evil once and for all. Urgent news, Kakushu. Oh, yeah, I was wondering, I thought you were just scratching your ear, but no, you got a call. Gleipnir has ambushed a party of wood whalers. They are engaged with the blasphemy near the Guardian Tree, where the Great One slumbers. This bodes ill. I forgot who the Great One is. I remember I probably dealt with it during the White Mage questline, but I'm just not a bad memory. Has it divined the Elder Seedseer's intent? Is it attempting to prevent her from communing with the elementals? Bah, in any event, we cannot let Gleipnir harm the tree. The Elder Seedseer bade us rendezvous with her at Sorrel Haven. What's going on in my chat? Attains Goldsmith level 56, Alchemist 44, Alchemist 45. How is someone doing that so quickly? How are they getting levels so quickly? Sorry, I'm distracted. One of the things I'm eventually going to do is the Endwalker versions of the crafting and gathering, and I'm curious. I wonder if something changed, or if I just didn't know. I don't know. The Elder Seedseer bade us rendezvous with her at Sorrel Haven. We leave at once. It's a dark and stormy night here in the Twelveswood, and so it's appropriate. Battered arms and armor are strewn across the ground, but there is no other trace of man or blasphemy. Well, here's some traces of man or blasphemy. Kan-E-Senna. I see. I think I know what happened here, though I pray that I am wrong. What do you think happened here? Keeper. There is no sign of this wood whaler save their arms and armor. Oh, yeah, Gleipnir killed them. Seasoned warriors would never cast aside their equipment, but here it lies, and I see not a single body. Oh, he didn't kill them. They transformed, didn't they? In the face of certain death, even the bravest among us can succumb to despair. Before the blasphemy's poison took them, they transformed. I honestly don't know what's worse. I don't know. The worst thing is turning into a blasphemy after suffering the pain of the poison. Gleipnir could not have gone far. He may be watching us even now. It's a comforting thought. Be on your guard. The air is thick with corruption. If the wood whalers succumb to a man, then we can expect a hard fight. Though I dread the thought of hurting our brave soldiers, we cannot allow the creatures they have become to roam free. Let us form 2 groups to more quickly track down and cull the beasts. Once we have finished, we shall regroup under the boughs of the Guardian Tree. Alright, is it just like me? Are you going solo, or... No, I guess I'm group number 2. Okay. Yeah, just gonna be killing off some fell beasts here. You've laid to rest the last of the turned whalers. Reunite with your companions at Evershade. That how they spell Evershade in this game? Kan-E. Our work is done then. The loss of so many brave souls is tragic, but now they are at peace, and the guardian tree is safe. Let us take comfort in that. It's not great comfort, but it's kind of the best you can do right now. I pray that the Great One will hear my plea. Uh-oh. Ah! Did Gleipnir, like, corrupt the Great Spirit here? Yeah. Elder Seedseer, are you hurt? The Great One is filled with fear, an all-consuming fear unlike any I have ever felt. Okay, so it doesn't harm, it's just freaked out. It spoke unto me, and its words were clarion. Drive the evil away. Drive the evil away. And we're trying. It's not the most helpful voice. It can think of naught else, and so we will not receive the aid we seek. Not until we can dispel the dread that claws at the forest's very heart. No, this was our last hope. Is there a way to get the dread away without killing Gleipnir? We are not alone. Oh, Gleipnir. First sighting of Gleipnir. Here we go. Oh, kind of like a werewolf, shaggy Bannon from Final Fantasy VI Behemoth. I wasn't expecting this. This is not what I had in mind as sneaky. It's really bulky, but there can be no mistake. This is the profane beast, the blasphemy that has mired the Twelveswood in despair. Gleipnir. Stay back. Kan-E. It makes for the guardian tree. We must stop it. My white mage shields can't do that. She has some game. The poison. You mustn't let it touch you. Such fearsome strength. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. That thing looks like a true beast. But it's my job to tank. I got this. Me and my little sword against this brigand thing. This is a bad time for an echo. Asumi-yan. In accordance with our covenant, we Padjali have been blessed by the elementals. From the moment we are chosen, we are bound to act as mediators between man and nature. The most skilled among us are honored as seed seers, and it is their duty to guide... Wait, that's right, this is Asumi-yan. Who's the redhead that was part of the contingent that went to Garlemald? Is he another Padjali, or is he just a kid? The most skilled among us are honored as seed seers, and it is their duty to guide Gridania through times both poor and prosperous. I cannot say which of you will be found more worthy. In my estimation, you both have the potential to become seed seers. Of that I become more certain by the day. So we got a smarmy kid, and we got this girl, concerned girl. He wasn't smarmy. That was rude of me. He was He gave kind of a little smug smirk, though. Padjali girl. But I don't want to be a seed seer. I never wanted to be a Padjal either. I never asked for any of this. Yeah, it's... As an adult, the idea of never growing up is like, you know, the fountain of youth and all that has its appeal. As a kid, it doesn't really. Like, especially as a kid, now you know you're never going to... I don't know, you're never going to grow up in the same way, and you're not an outcast, but you're something different. Why can't I live a... Yeah. Why can't I live a normal life like everyone else? How come I don't get to grow old? Why was I cursed with these ugly horns? That's a good eye roll they animated for the kid, Padjali boy. I like him. Maybe we didn't choose to be born this way, but I don't think that makes us different from everyone else. I mean, it does. It makes you different, but I get what you're saying. Not in a way that not in the way that counts. It's a rare gift, a blessing even. And if we can use it to help others, then we should. Don't give up on becoming a seed seer. This is Kan-E-Senna? I didn't think this would be... I thought we were getting a look into an echo into the blasphemy, not Kan-E. I don't know why I didn't pick up that this was Kan-E. I didn't. We'd all be worse for it. A blessing? I never thought of it that way. I suppose I just hated not having a choice. But maybe you're right. Who's the kid? Who's the guy? There's a horn on this creature. Is that the blasphemy? Is the blasphemy the Padjal who didn't make seed seer? Gleipnir. Kan-E. I guess it is. That is a twist and a half. I didn't see that coming. Keeper, the matron is merciful. The elder seed seer has fallen unconscious, but is otherwise unharmed. The blasphemy must not have touched her, for I do not see the telltale mark of poison. Still, I am no healer, and she should be looked after by those who are. I shall carry her back to Gridania. We must leave before Gleipnir returns. Await me at the Adder's Nest. Again, it's able to hold onto some part of itself. Keeper, allow me to thank you once again for your assistance. The elder seed seer has been delivered into the care of Esumian, and by the grace of the elementals she will make a full recovery. In fact, she has already regained consciousness, but is not yet allowed to receive visitors. We can but wait for now. God damn it, I was useless. I could do nothing while the elder seed seer faced Gleipnir alone. I was to be her shield, that I stand before you while she lies abed as proof of my failure. You could literally do... I mean, what were you going to actually do? What were you going to do against Gleipnir? Like, you would be poisoned and... Yeah, she wouldn't have wanted you to throw your life away. Let's go with this one, the more forward-thinking one. Kan-E-Senna lives still, and she requires your protection. Yeah, she was able to protect herself okay back there, and now she can't, and now she needs you. You truly are the hero of whom the bards sing, aren't you? You've suffered terrible trials, yet still you stand tall and resolute. Thank you for your counsel. How close I came to forgetting the lessons of my past. I have spoken of it to few. Truth be told, it brings me shame to recall it. I fought at Cartano. Not as a... Oh, holy crap. not as a soldier of the Eorzean Alliance, but as a conscript in the Garlean Imperial Army. Clad in armor and magitech, another drop in a sea of pitiless metal. You grow numb to the violence and the killing out of necessity. It becomes routine. Work to earn your next meal. But then the moon shattered, and the dragon emerged, and when the dust had settled, I was another body clinging to life amongst the fallen. I remember staring at the burning sun above, growing weaker, wondering if the heat or an Eorzean's blade would be enough to finish the job. But it wasn't death that came, but salvation. I was delivered from my well-earned fate by the Elder Seedseer. She deigned to save a man who once bared steel against her people. Her kindness didn't end there. Once my wounds had healed, she welcomed me with open arms. Never did she regard me with distrust, nor did she ever make me feel obliged to repay her my debt. She fought not to take life, but to safeguard it. Through our friendship, I came to see the wisdom in that distinction and pledged my remaining years to her service. Do you have the gem on your head? Not necessarily. I mean, you could have just been a conscript. I don't know. 'Twould have accomplished nothing to throw myself against Gleipnir in vain, and even if there was profit to be found in the sacrifice, she would not abide it. Your words serve to remind me of this. We will defeat the blasphemy, aye, but we will do so without forsaking that which we hold dear. This I swear. This is by far, of these role quests, the most surprising to me. The one that I was expecting to not have any interest in this one. And here they come, and they're making Asumi Yan interesting. They're making this random dude that has been in the background apparently throughout the whole game interesting. Well played. A Pact Proven. The Keeper of the Entwined Serpents has good news to share. Is she okay? Kukushu, the Elder Seedseer, has grown strong enough to receive visitors. Come, we must go to Stillglade Fane at once. Good news. Keeper, Elder Seedseer, it fills my heart with joy to see you in better health. Kan-E, I am gladdened by your presence as well, my friend. And lest you wonder, know that the conjurers found no trace of the poison in my humors. If you are ready, I would resume our search for Gleipnir. You are right back at it. They may be up to the task, but you are... Oh, right, this is Asumi, and this is the... I keep thinking kid. He's way older than Kan-E-Senna, or at least older. He was as he is now back when Kan-E-Senna was a kid. They may be up to the task, but you are not. 'Tis one thing to engage in conversation, quite another to go gallivanting about the Twelveswood, hunting a blasphemy. Kan-E, I am aware you are a conjurer of surpassing skill, and would not presume to gainsay your judgment, but have my wounds not healed? Asumi Yan looks very Village of the Damned. He's something about his eyes, maybe, and the platinum hair. Those visible to the naked eye, perhaps. I worry that the strain of your communion with the Great One has taken a toll on you in ways we may struggle to perceive. The Great One is a being of purest ether, and you were exposed to its unbridled despair, its raw terror. There may be consequences. I am aware of that, but Gleipnir must be stopped. Until the blasphemy is laid low, people will continue to die. How am I to carry out my duties cloistered here? How am I to deliver the forest and its people from this despair? She's really, seeing where she came from as a kid, she has embraced this role. Asumi, 'tis your duties that demand you remain. I understand your frustration, but if you were to fall in battle, if your guiding light you bear, were to fade, then all Gridania would be lost. Rest, Kan-E. Rest and gather your strength so that when the time comes, probably at level 90, you are fit to do what must be done. In the meantime, trust in your allies. You are right. That said, I see no reason I cannot join in planning our next step. As you said before, conversation is quite unlike gallivanting about on a hunt. Alright, let's plan. Our encounter with Gleipnir has made it plain that we cannot hope to triumph over it as we are. Only with the Great One's power can we achieve victory. When the seventh umbral calamity was nigh, the Great One committed a portion of its boundless strength to extend a barrier over heaven and earth, the Ermin Hedge. Thus was the Twelveswood spared the worst. If we could convince it again to lend us even a small measure of that power, we would not need fear the poison. Therefore, I believe we should pour our efforts into placating the elementals, that we might earn their favor. We must make your voice heard, then. We must show that we are not the enemy. The quieting worked before. It may again. This is from the White Mage thing, right? Or was it even from the Conjurer, maybe? From the Conjurer questline? Ah, no, this is from the White Mage questline. Ah, of course. You are the inheritor of Attoa's will. Raya Owen. Oh, that's right. No, I was trying to remember who the redhead was. The redhead is Arun. Raya O and Arun praised the wisdom and bravery you displayed that day. Indeed, we were never very nearly overrun by the creatures the Great One called to its defense, but this time is different. The Great One quakes with such fear that it cannot even bear to behold its enemy, let alone fight it. And so we must first find a way to dispel this fear that binds it, and reassure it that together we can defeat Gleipnir. Only then will it hearken to our words. Keeper, I think that too we must gain a greater understanding of what drives Gleipnir. It seems to bear a resentment toward the elementals, the Great One in particular. Why? I mean, it seemed to believe in its role, if this is the other kid, the other Padjali kid. Maybe, like, it felt like it saw the disease take people and its faith in it was shattered. It felt like, why did you betray me? I believed in you, that sort of thing. Kan-E, I have pondered this question myself. Lingering memories of the person Gleipnir once was may be responsible. Reports from Radzat Han suggest that is likely the case, in fact. If we could but ascertain the original identity of the blasphemy, but where are we even to begin our investigations? May I share my echo with you? Yes. You were granted a vision of Gleipnir's past, you say? And I was there, then I may know who he is, or was. Asumi, as do I, the boy who trained alongside Kan-E in her youth. Easura Supin, after all these years, is this what became of him? Ah, you mentioned him briefly before. Were you close? Easura was Padjali like me, but he had never known his parents and devoted himself wholly to his studies. He embraced the role the forest had bestowed upon him, and, truth be told, was a much better student than I ever was. Asumi, a fair assessment. Despite your esteemed heritage, you never took to my lessons as well as he, ever dreaming of the outside world, stealing off into the woods more times than I can count. I could not keep watch over you at all hours, not even if I tried. Keeper, the Elder Seed Seer, a rebellious spirit. I can scarce imagine it. I mean, it's the, it's like the St. Augustine thing, the wild person who becomes, who grows out of it. Oh God, oh Lord, make me chaste, but not yet, that sort of thing. I resented being a Padjali. It was inconceivable to me that I could not live among the others, and I did not scruple to express my misgivings to Asumi at every opportunity. Easura was a pillar of constant support. It was thanks to his encouragement that I at last embraced my destiny and resolved to use my gifts for the greater good. We would become seed seers together, I believed, until one fateful day we were gathering herbs in the forest at Asumi Yan's behest. We met a wanderer hailing from a distant land, who told us his beloved was with child, and that he had traveled to Gridania to beseech the Great One for a painless birth. He asked us to guide him to the guardian tree. However, entry into such sacred places was not ours to permit, and there was something odd about his demeanor besides. With regret, I refused him, but oh, crap. Is this the origin of the creeping death? Did Eosora let this dude in, and then, like, the dude was like, "Wahaha, I shall poison the thing." Eosora was loath to turn away a goodly stranger in need. He agreed to guide the man despite my protestations. I ran to Asumi Yan as fast as I could, and together we made haste to the guardian tree. We found the man motionless on the ground, having succumbed to the Great One's rage. Oh no, he wasn't. So he went there with good intention, but he just... the rule was to protect him as much as the tree. Having succumbed to the Great One's rage, and next to him was Eosora, alive but unconscious. In time he recovered and related the whole story. In truth, oh, nope, he was lying. In truth, the man had been an adventurer, a seeker of wealth and glory, and as he had knelt to make false supplications, he lunged forward to tear a branch from the guardian tree. He was yet a child, and Eosora had no inkling of the darkness that could dwell within men's hearts. He learned that lesson that day, but the price he paid for it was great indeed. Was he cast out of Seedseer school? The Great One stripped Eosora of his horns, and with them the right to call himself a Padjali. I was forced to expel him from the fane. That is rough. Understandable, like, it's the law of the forest and all, but that is rough. Asumi, I never saw him again, nor heard a word of what had become of him, though not for lack of trying. Despite his hardships, did he remain in the Twelveswood all this time? I wonder. That explains his anger at the Great One. He dreamed of naught else but becoming a seed-seer, of a life in service to the forest and the people. He knew the weight of the responsibility and was eager to bear it. But he was deprived of that purpose by the very elementals he loved, and yet he did not lose that will to serve, I suspect, and instead resolved to watch over the Twelveswood in his own way. So maybe it's not anger, maybe it's... I don't know what it is then. I shudder to think what could have hastened his transformation into maybe it is the previous theory. Maybe it is that the disease the creeping death took someone close to him, and like because of that he felt betrayed and turned in rage against the elementals. I shudder to think what could have hastened his transformation to Gleipnir, as if his life was not harsh enough. Asumi, in our final conversation, Eosora confided in me that he would search for a means to calm the Great One's rage and earn absolution. To that end, he would seek the counsel of the Mughals. They have called the Twelveswood home for far longer than we have, and so none are more alike to have knowledge of its most hidden workings. Kan-E, that comes as no surprise. He would not give up so easily on his dream. Even if the Mughals know naught of Eosora, they may be able to help us in other ways. Will you travel to the bramble patch in my stead, Kakushu? I have faith that they will accept you with their characteristic aplomb. I thought it was going to be like a head desk sort of thing, like a face palm, like, oh crap, the Mughals. Whisker wall, coop-de-coop. Ahem. Surely you can see I'm unarmed. If it's all the same that I'm armed, it's all the same to you. We don't want any. Move along, Kupo. I'm not trying to pick a fight. Pukwa Pika. Huh, a peculiar face you have, Kupo. Familiar, too. You wouldn't be the self-same warrior who gave the legendary Moggles guard what for, would you? Kakushu, was it? That's right, I want them. Ah, it's an honor to meet you. Allow me to thank you for personally bringing an end to that silliness. Pukwa Pika's the name. What brings you to our neck of the Twelveswood? Ah, wait, what a pleasant coincidence. We were just discussing how we ought to go about calming the elementals, Kupo. That blasphemy with the dreadful horns has got them on edge, and for good reason. I've had to ask my personal guard here to sleep with one eye open. In case you haven't noticed, the beast's corruption has been spreading all throughout the woods. Needless to say, we've all got to stand up and put the Twelveswood to right. Raya O suggested that the Mughals contribute by scouring the forest for even the smallest signs of taint. Got to cleanse it before it gets out of hand, you know? Difficult and time-consuming work, but if it's in service to the forest, then we'll do it gladly, Kupo. Hey, I know you. You're the adventurer who gave me some of my finest scars. Koop-de-Koop of the Mongols Guard. Oh, that's right. I was wondering why you look familiar. No hard feelings about the whole Hail to the King Kupo bit, I hope. Not going to call for a rematch either, in case you're worried about that. Raya-O and the others have cured us of our tempering. That's right. We have a cure for tempering now. And afterward sat us down for a stern lecture. No more calling upon good King Mughal the 12th for us. May he ever remain unsummoned in his royal grace and splendor. Pukwa. Indeed, and what better way to make up for past indiscretions than to serve the realm? Even now, our kin scour every realm of the Twelveswood, and we would be remiss not to do our part. We'd be overjoyed to have a hero such as you helping as well, if you're willing. Something tells me you have a sharp eye for the taint we seek to cleanse. Can we count on you, Kupo? I can try. Your reputation for magnanimity is well deserved. Let's begin by moving to higher ground that we may survey the area and locate any particularly nasty spots of blight. You gonna pick me up? No, I'm gonna have to fly. Oh, okay. Oh, you were able to make it all the way up here. I was worried you'd be stuck. Apologies for leaving you behind, but it's easy to forget your kind lack wings, Kupo. No worries, all my mounts fly. Now then, where is it? That way? Oh, there, to the south. Let us cleanse that festering taint at once. So, in the bramble patch, a Pact Proven. Corrupted soil. Yeah, so the corruption's taking the form of just like rotting the earth. Again, a very Final Fantasy thing. Tainted Sprite. Yep, no worries from that. That was some fine work, Kupo. I dare say it's in even better shape than it was before. The others are doubtless flittering about, stamping out corruption wheresoever it rears its hideous head. If I were the Great One, I would be applauding our efforts. Well, insofar as such a being without hands can clap, I suppose. How goes the taint cleansing, Koop-de-Koop? I really don't like having to say the word taint that often. I did what I could, but I swear, as soon as I finished with one area, 2 more started manifesting a fresh taint. The forest's ability to heal itself is waning, and the sickness is spreading too fast for even a legion of Mughals to manage, if we don't come up with a better solution soon. The situation is more grave than we imagined, Kupo. Oh, what are we to do? We should maintain our efforts to purify the forest regardless, but since there are so many of us, we should also help the forest to remember how to help itself. Okay, how? A brilliant idea. How do you think we should go about doing that? Well, I was just getting to that part, Kupo. We call good King Mughal. No, what? I've got it. We performed the friending. The friending. What in the name of good King Mughal to the 12th? May he shower us with love and compassion. Koopa nuts is that? Truth be told, I couldn't remember the ancient rite's name, so I'm just deepening his voice. I just made it up something on the spot, Kupo, but let's forget about that for now and move on to the stuff I do remember. Friggin' Mughals. It's an old ceremony, first performed when the nation of Gridania was but a spark of an idea of a random thought in its founders' heads. They knew if they were to establish a home within the Twelveswood, they would have to first entreat the elementals for permission. So a mage in their company found and cleansed a few sources of foul ether, planting saplings in their place, and consecrated the soil with a prayer to show the forest the purity of their intentions. The elementals were so taken with his display that not only did they permit his people to settle within the forest, they also bestowed upon him their blessing as proof of the new covenant, Kupo. Oh, so we're renewing the pact. Nice. I remember now. The Gridanians still honor the agreement to this day. For every tree that's cut down, a sapling is planted. So if we follow history's example, we can soothe the forest's pain and also nourish it with new life. That's right, Kupo. Yeah, they are a jolly group. Oh, but I wasn't finished with the story. Remember the mage who planted those sacred saplings? He was none other than Joran, sire of Eohokpota, the very first Padjali. From that day forward, the elementals would bless a few select Hjors with horns, favoring them with their fellowship. For some reason, it didn't hit me that the Padjali came from Hjor. I just assumed they came from Elazin, but no, that makes sense that they're... I don't know if it makes sense, but it's good to know that they came from Hjor. The Padjali were exalted by all the people of the Twelveswood. Even we Mughals look upon them with awe, and that's how it all began. Something wrong, Kupo. You have a strange look on your face. Gleipnir may be a Padjal, a form of Padjal at least. Gleipnir's poison is particularly deadly against yours. Is it? Do we know that? Has it infected other people and it wasn't as deadly? I don't remember that. Gleipnir may be Padjal, a form of Padjal at least. How dreadful, Kupo. But what exactly are you saying? Is that why the forest is so afraid? They're like, we gave this power to someone and they messed up? And we messed up? So the man you think may have become Gleipnir was a Padjal stripped of his blessing, and the blasphemy kills with a poison that manifests symptoms that resemble those of the creeping death. I feel sorry for this Eosura. To love the elementals only to be shunned by... Oh, Koopty-Koop. To only to be shunned by them. To be surrounded by the beauty of the Twelveswood and know that he was forever an outsider. All for a child's mistake. It is a pretty harsh punishment. It's not really a good way of teaching. That despair could easily have caused him to turn. And the poison that preys upon those who bear the Twelveswood's blessing, the Hjors, just like the creeping death once did, might be another manifestation of that despair. Yeah. Yep, that sounds right. That would explain the elemental's unease, Kupo. We must redouble our efforts to plant saplings, so they might never speak to us again. Indeed. Well, first things first. We gather as many saplings as we can, Kakushu. Wait for us at the Adder's Nest and make ready for a long and back-breaking day. I feel like it's a Moogle hallmark to send us out on long and painful chores. Even if this is not for a prank, this is like with good reason. Keeper. Welcome back, Kakushu. Did the Mughals have any insight into our problems? They did indeed. Good history there. A reenactment of the ceremony which laid the foundation of Gridania. A fitting plan given the gravity of the threat that our nation now faces. As ever, there is much work to be done before we can even begin. While the Mughals gather saplings, we shall continue to scour the Twelveswood for the new beasts that must be purged. Let us pray that the Elder Seedseer regains her strength quickly as well. For now, take a rest, my friend. 'Tis a rare indulgence these days, and one you've earned 1,000 times over. So, with that, I'm going to take my well-earned rest and call it for here. Thank you for watching. Again, if you are able to leave any thoughts or suggestions about what I mentioned at the start of it, yeah, let me know. I'm certainly not married to it, but it's the way I'm leaning. So thanks for watching. See you all later. Bye-bye.